Hi guys, hope you all are doing good. And the topic for today is your journey from ITA till PPR. So guys, before we start this video, let me take this time to congratulate you all that you have successfully cleared the first step, that is getting the ITA. Trust me guys, it is one of the most important things, in fact the most important thing in the process of immigration, because without ITA you cannot even apply for express entry. And trust me guys, it's a very big thing that you have cleared the first step and that you have successfully got ITA. So let's get started now. Guys, there is a big waiting period involved after you get your ITA and you have successfully submitted your application for express entry till the time you get your passport request. This waiting period guys is indefinite. It is less for some people and it is more than 6 months for some people. So I understand because I have been through the same journey and it feels as if a single day is passing like a single year. It is that difficult. I understand that completely. So guys, in this video I will tell you some tips and tricks about the typical do's and don'ts in this waiting period. So let's get started on them one by one. So guys, few things to note here is that as per CIC website, the average application processing time is 6 months. But guys, not all applications are processed in 6 months time. This is the average processing time. It is not the upper limit of your application's processing time. So I personally know people whose application has got processed less than 2 months, and I also know people whose application processing has taken up to 1 year. So guys, it is perfectly fine that your application is taking longer than normal processing time. So that's perfectly fine. Don't panic and don't be disheartened. The second point is, on the CIC website there is no way to determine that how much applications are pending at the visa office or how fast the applications are getting processed each day. Having said that, we have no clue about how much time more it will take for the visa officer to process our application. And guys, third point that I would like to tell you here is that your visa application can get delayed because of many factors. Few of them are: first, the completeness of your application; second, the accuracy of your application; third, if there is any ambiguity between the supporting documents that you have sent and the information that you have mentioned in your application. If there is any ambiguity, that may lead to any kind of a delay in processing your application. And fourth, it depends on the visa officer himself. So guys, this fourth point you cannot do anything because each person is different. Each visa officer would have his own way of interpreting an application, and guys, we really cannot comment on that. But yes, the remaining three things, it's in our hand. So if your application is taking longer than processing time, then you have to be really proactive in your approach. What you could do is, first is the GCMS notes, the Global Case Management System. So guys, the GCMS notes is a tool which will help you to find out at what stage your application is currently, and the comments which are made by visa officer on your application, you can access that as well. So having said that, when you apply for your GCMS notes, you get to know exactly at what stage your application is, and you can take proactive steps. Now by proactive steps, what I mean is, say suppose if the visa officer has commented that your job experience is not justified by the time frame which you have mentioned, or the job responsibilities that you have mentioned, it is not justifying your work. So in that case, you have to get maybe some employment reference letters from your previous employers. You may give your salary slips for each month justifying that you are actually working during that time. Or say if your education credentials are having some issues, then you can, along with the WES or your other credential body evaluation, you can give your transcripts to bolster up your application's strength. Having said that, you have to take this proactive approach guys, okay? And this is possible only after you get your GCMS notes. Now guys, one more thing that I need to tell you, that don't apply for GCMS notes immediately after you submit your application or within like 2 months of submitting your application. Give the visa office adequate time to process your application. If still after that time your application is not being processed and you are not getting any kind of response from the visa office, that is the time when you have to apply for GCMS notes. So guys, I would suggest at least wait for 4 to 5 months after you submit your application before you can request for your GCMS notes. Guys, now coming to few do's and don'ts in your application. The first and the very most important thing is anticipate what is causing your application to be delayed. Guys, it is highly possible that you may not have got any response from CIC. They may not have responded back with any kind of additional document request or any kind of data mismatch or anything as such. You haven't heard from them since you have submitted your application. So if that's the case, you need to anticipate that what is causing the delay, and just because of the fact that you still haven't got a rejection email from CIC, that means you are still not rejected, guys. Possibly the case may be on hold because of something, or the case may not be processed at all because of high volume of data. So guys, rather than getting into all kind of negative thoughts, think positively and anticipate that what is causing the delay. Analyze back of your mind that what all documents you have submitted to the CIC for your visa application. Does that justify to the visa officer what you have mentioned in your application? So basically, if you mentioned you have 5 years work experience, say for example, and does your documents validate that you actually have 5 years experience? Do you need to give any other justification on top of the documents that you have submitted to make sure that you have that 5 years experience? Guys, I know many people that they just submit their salary slips. They don't give any kind of offer letter or any other document which actually states that they were working. They feel that they have given salary slips and that's more than enough. It's just an example, guys. So in such case, if the application is getting delayed, then you need to analyze, okay, I did not give my offer letter, my experience letter, my reliving letter, and I didn't give the reference letter also. So maybe because of this, the application may have got delayed. So what you could do is, since you haven't heard anything from CIC, but still I would suggest go and get these documents and keep it ready with you. Okay. So now that you have done this step, you can order for your GCMS notes now. If in your GCMS notes it is mentioned that that this particular experience is not getting justified from the documents that you have provided, you have the documents ready with you. Immediately send it to CIC. Getting my point? So there's a web form in which you can submit all these documents with your correspondence number and you can send it to CIC. So guys, this will actually save you time. After you get your GIC and then you start thinking, okay, I need to get this document, it takes time. So proactively what you have done is you have got all the documents ready. You anticipated what all things could have gone wrong. You worked on it. You got all the documents ready. And now that you have received the GCMS notes and now that you know the actual reason for the delay, you should not delay it further by waiting for the documents to get processed and come to you. You already have the documents, send it immediately to CIC. So guys, the next important point I would like to tell you is that never ever compare yourself with anyone. Guys, understand that each person is unique and the situation is different for each person. So what works for others may not work for you. Similarly, what works for you may not work for others. So guys, don't get into any kind of negative thinking. I understand it is easier said than done because I have been through the same journey and even I had a lot of negativity in my mind. But guys, there is nothing that you can do at this point. You have done all that you could do and now it's just wait and watch. So guys, have faith in God. God has thought of something good for you and that is happening with you. So trust your God, have faith in God's judgment and guys, proceed accordingly. So the point that I want to tell you is that rather than cribbing on why your application is getting delayed, I would like to tell you that you need to invest this time and use it wisely about your future life in Canada. So guys, assuming that in few days time you'll be getting your PPR, correct? So you need to analyze few things right now. It is not required at this point, but yes, rather than getting into negative thinking, you can use your time like this. First, say suppose if you are going to land in Toronto, think of a neighborhood that you would like to stay, whether it's close to GTA or whether it's inside Toronto only, or something like that. Make a list of all the expenses that you can possibly incur after you land in Canada, and start thinking that how much you need to save, and you must earn at least this much salary to have such kind of living. Some positive, constructive thinking, guys. So now that you have decided on a place that you need to stay, and you also have like a random figure as far as the expenses are concerned, now you need to analyze what kind of job you are going to get into. Say suppose if your profession is a regulated profession, that means you will be need to give some exams after you come to Canada. Having said that, you need to prepare for that exams right now because you have the time, rather than after you come to Canada and you start preparing. You can start preparing when you are in India. Guys, I would suggest that you start a passive job search. And by passive job search, what I mean is that you need to identify from the job portals the list of companies that are hiring for your profile, and also the salary range that you can expect for your job profile. Along with that, you should make a list of the recruiters' details who are into hiring for profiles similar to yours. So having said that, guys, this will save you a lot of time in future when you land here in Canada, because you have done your bit of research in the past, that is like right now, and you know what all companies you should need to contact when you reach here in Canada. And also, guys, I would like to tell you that make a note of the location where these companies are located. Say for example, you are talking about, say, city A or neighborhood A. So you come to know that this particular neighborhood has lot of companies which are hiring for your profile. Then you should be searching for residents close to that neighborhood A, so that your travel time is reduced. So guys, these are valuable insights that you can gain only if you spend considerable time in doing research for your job as well as your house hunting in Canada. And trust me guys, if you are not prepared with this, it will take you a lot of time when you come here in Canada. So guys, finally I would say that be positive, don't let any kind of negativity bring you down, and have faith in God, and trust me guys, something good is going to happen to you really soon. Please do let us know in the comments when you get your PPR request, and I hope that you all get through this immigration journey and come to Canada soon. So guys, that's it for the day. See you around soon. Take care. Bye.